So, are there other situations which current knowledge has not sufficiently good answers? There are several. Even if quantum physics or relativistic physics gives answers, they are not sufficiently good in explaining what happens, what's going on. Let's look. Electromagnetic interaction propagates with photons. Only these photons which make magnetic action are really hard to find. No one says about that publicly. You must ask your teacher, can we find photons in our magnet you want? They are very hard to find. Of course, we have proved that it's really with action similar, to electric. These photons were found only in very, very strong magnets, and they were weak, not proportional to the strength of magnet. Why? This I explain with these two consecutive collapses where densities allow particles, photon particles, these bosons of action, to propagate in our membrane and to push into this level up collapse to that membrane. And that collapse spins relatively to us much faster, at least 10 to the 10th faster, probably a little bit more. This means for every single push of electric charge, this photon which is caused with electricity, electric charge, there is 10 to the 10th smaller pieces of this magnetic component. They are not identical. They are softer. They are harder to find. This is a right answer to this problem. Of course, as a wholeness, as a bunch of them, they return back and they are again electrical impulse, orthogonal. This principle that these forces, these actions are orthogonal. Maxwell was very close to that. He imagined the swirl of interaction. Only it was difficult for him to understand what causes that. And then there came quantum preachers and they dismissed the problem. Like the guy, it was Heaviside, which corrected, simplified Maxwell's equations. And then the problems which bothered Maxwell were irrelevant. Equations are fine. This is probably most deepest problem of human intelligence, human intellect. You are satisfying yourself with simplified to where it is just only stupid answers, like finding equations. not trying to understand what may cause this shape of behavior, which are equations. This relevant in every single case. So, if someone continued efforts of Maxwell, if someone tried to understand atomic problems, structures, or they ultimately say mechanical interpretation was refused because it was unable to explain that. Wrong. If you have, again, too simple mechanic, of course, but you did the same, choosing, this wavy mechanics, and then this Hamiltonians depicting interactions. You again simplified problem. You stated elementary particles undivisible until they are divided experimentally, and you stopped thinking what may cause them to exist. And these are answers I give you. Particles compute themselves with interactions with everything around them. And this bunch of interactions causes them to modify itself to adopt to conditions. So, what was long time ago? Was there a Big Bang? I said this as a collapse. Yes, it was quite violent. It has to be quite violent situation. And after that, it extremely fast equalized, normalized interactions, producing this membrane structure resonating, because it's the only solution when it can stay. All other situations, when it was for some reasons impossible to start this concentric vibrations and rotations, then this collapse just broke into parts, dissolved, broke. So probably some little piece from that was left again, because it's most probable. But we are not discussing these cases. We are in a collapse which succeeded, rotating and spinning. Rotating and vibrating. And our matter is exactly realization of this, let's say, form of existence which is here possible, best suited. If not these rotations, if not these densities of membranes, there will be some different particles. Again, very similar. They would have different, comparing with others only, how to do that. Different charges, different masses. And maybe sometimes interactions in between them will be a little bit different. This density matrices, S matrices, coefficients may differ somehow. But general structure of these relations must be very similar, almost identical. Again, we are in a less dense membrane. After more dense membrane, there is another one identical to our. And the next. So, you may say, multiverse. Not this what they are speaking today. It's exactly said how far it is. You know, few Planck distances, because so dense are membranes. Really. It's in a Planck scale decided. What we can do with that? That's a problem. Because there is a lot of space, a lot of other matter. And there are more advanced relations. I will not present all this knowledge, all this theoretical analysis, results of my work. So, I will make a break.